Hey, Dr. Berg here. In this short video, we're going to talk about GMO, or sometimes you call it genetically modified, but genetically modified organisms are a time bomb waiting to happen. And I'm going to do a little short summary. I'm going to do a series of videos on this because you really need to know the background of what's happening right now. What they'll do is they'll take a piece of gene from one species, like a fish, and then they'll insert it with a little viral thing into another species, like a soy plant, to alter the mechanics of what that plant can do. So it lasts longer in the shelf, it's brighter color, it might even have more of a certain nutrient. But the main company that does this, called Monsanto, has another purpose of why they do this, and it's basically to create a Roundup Ready plant. And Roundup Ready means that it's resistant to Roundup Ready, which is an herbicide, which is a weed killer. So basically, they'll genetically modify a soybean plant to make it resistant against weed killers or herbicides. Okay, so of course they could spray more herbicide on it. That's the purpose, make more money. But of course they'll say it creates more yields, but it really doesn't create more yields, for world hunger. So it's very, very corrupt. So right now, 80 to 90% of all the soy in the grocery store is genetically modified, but they don't label it. So you don't know if you're getting it, but of course we know you are getting it because it's not labeled, because most of it is soy. So you don't even necessarily have to label it, you just know you're getting it. It's hard to avoid it. But there's several things that are mostly genetically modified: soy, corn, canola, cottonseed, and salmon, unless it's organic. So what happens is that if a soybean is Roundup Ready or resistant to a pesticide, you could spray these pesticides or herbicides on the plant and the weeds will die, but the plant won't die. So it creates a lot of problems because you're getting all this chemical in your body and the liver can't detoxify it. And the interesting thing about this is that 95% of the GMO sold in the United States is fed to animals, so it's in animal feeds. So it's coming through the animals, chicken, turkey, beef, and that's where it's going into your bodies. But the good thing is the FDA said it's safe, right? Well, here's the problem. There's studies that they say it's safe are only done for 3 months. That's 90 days. Do you really think that a study would be safe if it's only done for 3 months? The independent studies show that 18 months it will increase chance for breast cancer 70% in females. So we know it's a big problem. So the problem is it's delayed. So it may not show up in 3 months, but later on it's going to show up. The same thing happened with DDT and another chemical called DES, diethylstilbestrol, they used in the 50s. And they took it off the market after 30 years of finding that it goes in the offspring in the third generation. So again, this is a time bomb. Just wait. It's going to be, you're going to see huge spikes in breast cancer coming up. So one thing is that the studies weren't done long enough to determine the safety. We know that there is a lot of problems already, but they're just not admitting it, simply because there's a lot of corruption involved. Michael Taylor, the attorney for Monsanto, now works for the FDA and is overseeing the GMO. So there's a lot of conflict of interest. So I'm not going to get into all the details of that, but I wanted you to be aware of you're being exposed to GMO. And number two, I want to give you some solutions you want to do right now. Number one, when you buy eggs or chicken, make sure, I wouldn't worry about free range. The definition of free range means nothing. So don't buy food or eggs that are free range. Buy organic. You're going to have to buy organic. It costs a little bit more, but at least we know that if it's organic, it's most likely not GMO. Okay, there might be some corruption going on there, I don't know, but you need to start doing organic, especially the chicken that you eat, and especially the eggs that you eat, okay? And also the cheese. And you can go to Trader Joe's and get organic cheese, and it's not as expensive as other places, but you're going to have to do organic, number one, okay? Number two, you want to start consuming cruciferous foods on a daily basis to start to get your liver to dismantle some of this herbicide that's stuck in your liver. So you want to start doing that because, again, it's a time bomb. It's going to probably take 15 10 to 15 to 20 years before it shows up in our bodies. But if you can start now, like, don't wait until you get it. Do something now as a preventative action, and that's why I recommend the kale shakes every day to start to put in your liver to start cleaning this out. And then to have your family eat, you know, cruciferous or have kale or kale shakes. Because that way at least you can minimize the damage in your liver and your body, because cruciferous does dismantle chemicals, because what happens is that these chemicals mimic estrogen, which then causes cancer. All right? So that's the tip of the day. Just go ahead and do those two things, and I will expect to see some more videos on GMO, because I really want you to be aware of this and then spread the word.